Hello kindergartners! In this lesson video we are going to be making a turtle out of Model Magic clay. But the turtle's going to be special because it's going to be a texture turtle. Now you might be thinking, what in the world is texture? Well, texture is how something feels. So go ahead and just touch your hair. Your hair has texture. It feels a certain way. Now go ahead and touch your pants. Your pants might have a different texture, or even your shirt might even have a different texture. Now what I want you to do is look at the bottom of your shoe and just touch the bottom of your shoe. Now that has a texture also. Most likely it is a very bumpy texture. So let's get back to talking about our clay. So you're going to get 3 pieces of clay in the primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. And you first need to decide, what color do you want your turtle's shell to be? So I think I might want my turtle's shell to be orange. So I'm going to take some of my yellow. Now I didn't take all of it. I'm just going to set that piece aside. And I'm going to take some of my red. And then I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to smush these together. Now this part, this smushing and blending and mixing, it takes some time. So you can see how my fingers are pressing and then I'm folding it over and pressing. This is a great way to work out your hands, your fingers. And all of this will help build strong muscles in your hands. So you can see that my Model Magic is starting to turn orange. So I'm going to keep mixing until I have it where I like it. And then we're going to do something silly. So I think mine looks pretty good. I'm going to set this aside. And now I'm just going to roll it into a ball. And you're going to set it on the ground. Now don't set it on the rug. Set it on a flat surface, maybe if on your kitchen floor, and you're going to take your foot, you have to have your shoe on, and you're going to, here's my foot coming into the picture, and you're going to carefully step on it. And when you step on it and you lift it up, you're going to say, hey, it's stuck to my shoe. That's okay. You can just carefully, and I'm going to take my foot out of the camera, you're going to carefully take that off. Now mine got a little messed up. I think I pressed a little bit too hard, so I'm going to try it again. Now when you go ahead and you press, and that's the nice thing about Model Magic, I can do it again. So this clay is a little bit sticky, so you don't want to press too hard with your foot. So let's try it again. There. I didn't press down as hard, and it left a nice little impression. So this, when I touch it, has texture, a bumpy texture. So I'm going to set this aside, and now I'm going to work on the rest of my turtle. So let me set this over here. Now I want to make the turtle's legs, and I think I want my turtle's legs to be green. So I'm going to need yellow, and I'm going to need blue. And I'm going to take them and I'm going to mix them together. And I'm going to keep mixing and mixing. And like I said, this part takes a while, but it's kind of fun to watch how it changes right in front of you. All right. I think that's pretty good. There's some spots that aren't mixed, but that's okay. So now I'm going to roll it together, and I'm going to separate it into 2 pieces. So now I have 2, okay? And I'm going to roll these out, and I don't want them to be too skinny. Like, I think that's good. Now this one has to be rolled out, and it has to be close to the same length. So I'm going to put them together. Yep, they look to be the same length. Now I'm going to take my turtle shell, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to take this one and put it this way and gently press it down. And I'm going to take this one and put it this way, just like a plus sign, and press it down. So this is now the turtle's legs. All right, so I have one more thing to make for my turtle. I'm going to set that aside, and I think I want it to be purple. Oops, so I'm going to need some red and some blue, and I'm going to mix it together. So look what I did. I made the secondary colors, orange, green, and purple. So mixing, and I think I'm even going to have a little bit left over, which will be nice. You can make something else. Now let's talk about that turtle's shell again. So it did get stuck on my shoe because I pressed a little bit too hard. You might want to take your shoe off and just have it in your hand and press it. Maybe that way you won't press too hard like I did. All right, it's mixed up pretty good. Now this time I do not have to separate it because this is the turtle's body, his head, and his tail. Not his body, his head and his tail. All right, so now I'm going to take it and put it just like this. And see how they're hanging off the edges? I'm going to gently press that down and then bring it up. And this is going to be the turtle's head. This is his tail. I think his tail's a little bit too long, so I'm just going to pinch a little bit off. And I'm going to take a pencil and give him eyes. So there you have it, my texture turtle. This is one that I did earlier, and I didn't step too hard on this one. Any extra clay you have, I don't know. What can you make with that extra clay?